On Man on the Moon 3 by Kid Cudi, it seems as if Cudi is coming back to form, voicing his pain over very ethereal, spacious, instrumental heavy beats and just giant vibes. Cudi is back to what made him great. On here, he is flexing a more of a rap backbone while also still channeling some more new wave R&B. The entire LP is 18 tracks, totaling in at 58 minutes with little features. Cudi is very prominent on this album, and it is nice to say that most of these tracks are really good. Only near the last 4 or 5 tracks does it finally seem Cudi is falling off from his high. But man, this whole album is very consistent, and it is very good. Starting off the first few tracks, Cudi is coming back and showing what he is made of, channeling more R&B into the first few tracks while having very ethereal, spacious, beautiful instrumentation and beats behind him. He goes off on these. Rap isn't as prominent in these first few tracks, and at first it was a little disappointing, but I've waited to review this album because I knew they would grow on me, and which they have. This album starts off with the intro, Beautiful Trip, which encompasses all that this album really is and the feel of this album in about 40 seconds. As soon as Beautiful Trip is done, it transitions right into Tequila Shots, a great second track. Not much rapping, but there are a lot of feels on this one. The beat goes great. The ethereal vibes, it's there. His R&B influence, it's there. This is a great second track to have on here, and it really shows you that Cudi is back. After Tequila Shots, it kicks off Another Day. Another Day is a track that puts prominence on Cudi's alcoholism and personal demons, and just comparing it to another day in his life, and that is a dark feeling, but Cudi is very, very, very vocal about his feelings, and that is what makes him such an emotionally vulnerable, great rapper that a lot of people can relate to. Another Day is She Knows This, another great track. Love the beat on this thing with more prominent added bass with little whistles in the background, and Cudi's auto-tuned voice coming in through the mix perfectly. Just, it amazingly illustrates how vulnerable and how versatile Cudi is on any beat and how he can float over really anything. After She Knows This is the 5th track called Dive. Not really going to touch on it because the next tracks after it is the high of this album. Tracks 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 are all amazing, and they're all lined up banger after banger after banger after banger of Cudi going off. Track 6 is called Damaged. This is one of the most emotionally vulnerable tracks on this song, talking about how his everyday life, he just drifts through it and sums it up as he's just a damaged man. He does this stuff because he's a damaged man, and it is one of the few things that helps him forget about his pain. And with that subject matter and the way Cudi just perfectly floats over it and illustrates it so well, makes the song so beautiful and so great in so many ways. Damaged is Heaven on Earth. Man, the beat on this song goes hard, and god damn does Cudi go off on this one too. One of his best rap-centric songs on this album. God, it is so fucking good. Go listen to it right now. Stop, pause this right now, and go listen to Heaven on Earth. God, it is so good. The beat is amazing. Cudi goes hard as soon as he starts going off. God, it's so good. There's no words. It is just amazing. And even after that, there is still somehow a song that goes harder. Track 8, Show Out, featuring Pop Smoke and Skepta. Holy shit. This song goes hard. Having Pop Smoke and Skepta on a Kid Cudi album, didn't really see how that was gonna work, but man, Kid Cudi really isn't on this song a lot. It honestly doesn't really feel like a Kid Cudi song because there's more of a drill beat in the background, but it's on this album, so, and it has Kid Cudi in it, so it is a Kid Cudi song. But Pop Smoke in the chorus, oh my, Skepta goes off on his verse, and Kid Cudi Kid Cudi goes hard on his verse too, but man, Pop Smoke goes off on the chorus. The bass on this song goes wild. This is a great one to bump at night. After Show Out is Mr. Solo Dolo III, another emotionally vulnerable track, one of the lighter tracks on here, but that does not mean that it doesn't go off. Cudi is bringing in his signature hums on this thing, and he's putting in more singing instead of rap on this song. It's just a good one. It's a good one to close your eyes and just lay in bed and listen to and vibe with. This is one of the slower songs on here, but it is definitely one of the more, I guess, put you in your feels tracks on this LP. Then the last track on this great run of tracks is Sad People. The song's amazing as well. Its beat is a little bit more stripped back, but the lyrics are almost as dark as they get. Cudi on here, in quotes, asks himself what will happen to him when he burns out. What does this all mean, and where will we go? Amazing, amazing questions to ask, and something you don't really find on rap albums anymore. The emotional vulnerability that Cudi puts through and has always put through has always set him apart, and this song is a definite way of showing to people that Cudi is more human than a lot of people can see him as. Most people can perceive this man as just a rapper who has it all, and that's how it is most times. But in this song, Cudi perfectly illustrates that he is human, and he does have these problems, and he asks himself these questions very frequently. Elsies Baby Boy comes up next. This song is the first one on here that I could definitely live without. It is definitely one of the black sheep of the album in the sense that it could just not be on here and I wouldn't really care. This one's subject matter is about him and his childhood and his family, and it is lyrically a great song, but just I don't see how it really belongs on here. The vocal deliveries of Cudi on this song are definitely different than everything else on this LP. September 16th is right after Elsies Baby Boy. It's another great song on here. This is definitely one of the vibey songs on here. If all of them aren't, then this definitely is. Cudi comes through with his signature echoey, auto-tuned, spacious vocals, and the instrumentational beats on this thing with the keyboards and the little bass drops on here. It goes great. It's also spacious and also very echoey and builds a great atmosphere. Another great one to listen to at night with your eyes closed. Next we have The Void. To me, this is the most memorable chorus on the album. Cudi sings, "I will fall in the void just to avoid anything that can bring me down or fuck with my flow." The delivery of this chorus is great. The beat on it goes great too, still very spacious, very ethereal, very vibey, as Cudi has always been. The rest of the song though, other than the chorus, the verses do go hard as well. The verses are good, but the song is 5.5 minutes. I don't see the purpose of the song being 5.5 minutes. If it was 3.5, be great. The song's great anyway, but I don't really understand the choice of extending it out a little bit longer. I don't see the need for it. But yet again, still a great song. Next we have Lovin' Me featuring the great Phoebe Bridgers. It's another great song, another great vibey song. The subject matter of this one's great as well. It's about loving yourself no matter what hell you have been through or lives inside of you. Phoebe Bridgers' feature on this thing is amazing. As always, I cannot name a bad feature that Phoebe has ever been a part of. She is amazing. It's a very listenable, easy track to listen to. The beat on this thing, I love the drums in it, still very spacious, very great. Cudi, still auto-tuned and sounds great as ever. Still very spacey, ethereal, fits the vibe of the album. Perfect. After Lovin' Me is definitely my least forgettable leg of the album, which is pretty good considering these are the last few tracks. My least favorite track is also in this little run-through of stuff I don't like. It is Rockstar Nights featuring Trippie Redd. Not a big fan of Trippie Redd. Couldn't really see him on this album. His feature kind of ruins the song for me. Cudi, of course, brings it back because, you know, Cudi's awesome. Just Trippie Redd ruined this song for me. With that being said, the rest of the songs on here are just a little bit forgettable. Granted, this is the final bit of the record, so having a few forgettable tracks near the end isn't a bad thing. The beats on them are still really good. They still feel like Cudi songs. The beats, the vocals, everything is still great. It's just all he put his all in the first 3/4 of this album, and the last little bit, it is forgettable, but I don't really see that being a great sin at all. The rest of it building up to this was amazing and an unforgettable experience. With all that being said, Man on the Moon 3 by Kid Cudi is very well deserving of an 8 out of 10, I believe. Everything on this album really, really goes hard. Love everything about this album. Cudi's vocal deliveries, the production, all of the spacious noise that goes on during this album. Cudi's auto-tune vocals that are for effect go amazing and so smooth on here, still being spacey and beautiful as ever. This album definitely feels more larger than life than a lot of music today, and Cudi is great at that. Love all the little instrumentations on the beats, love all the little ambient details on the beats. I love everything about this album. But why is it not getting a 10 out of 10? I don't think everything on this album is perfect. Like I mentioned, it does have throwaway tracks, especially the Trippie Redd one. Elsies Baby Boy, it doesn't really fit with me on the album. Not my biggest personal favorite. Otherwise, love this album. Very, very well deserving of an 8 out of 10. Let me know what you thought about this one in the comments. Do you like it, love it, or hate it? Let me know.